start the recording.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel the need to add this into the chat then.
Okay. Session 17. It's time for the heist.
Oh,
We heisted.
We heist him. See, look, Serenity and Avatar kind of look this similar.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, which reminds me,
Is that the copyright-friendly version?
There's one thing we didn't discuss last time that we really needed to.
Which is?
Those of us that are going to be in the in heist mode in the museum. What are we dressing as / calling ourselves? Cause
Yeah, you should all have new costumes and code names for that.
like,
I mean, also you have remember you also have invisibility cloaks.
Yeah, but just in case.
New costumes disguises code names underneath the invisibility cloaks. Yes, I mean I agree. We still do that.
This is going to be an interesting session. I will say that. This is going to be an experimental session.
Let's see. I was debating doing. Let's see.
Well, what if you should be easy, Sean? What was also in the list of your names you were going to use that you never wound up with?
I don't know. I ended up just. The thing is, I ended up just coming up with names each week. I didn't actually make a complete list.
Oh, you ruined the magic, Sean. You ruined the magic.
But you needed to have another name so you could use it as your new villain name for this session.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, that is how it should work.
I am going to refer to myself as Ragdoll.
I'm going to call you Janice.
Hi there.
Janice. Cute.
Could be worse.
We can call. Is Ziggy here? Who left? Is everybody back
I'm
now?
here.
Everyone's here.
Everybody's back. Ziggy, we can call you Ziggy Phantom.
No.
Yo, Ziggy Phantom is just 14 with his parents.
No. Absolutely not.
But it was designed to get the artifact to see the world unseen.
Look, that's not even how my powers work, despite the oddly similar origins.
But we're going to steal an artifact to see an unseen world outside of time.
To be fair, Danny Phantom is absurdly powerful.
Yes. Oh, he is. He's great. But that's not what I'm going for. At least not entirely.
He's not PL9. There's no way.
No, he is.
He's much stronger than that.
Yeah, he is an absurdly powerful. He basically is a paragon with a weird set of powers.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Ghostly whales.
Also, Hex's current vibes are in off topic. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I expect you to speak if you speak like Nicolas Cage the entire game,
I can't.
I will award you 3 hero points at the start of the next session.
No way I can do it. Besides, I'm in the building. I have people do that for me.
Guys,
it would be hilarious.
Guys, check it out. It's Danny Phantom's ghostly whale.
If my eyes get harmed in any way, I will scream, "Oh no, my eyes!"
What if there are bees?
Distraction team.
How many Nicolas Cage quotes can you make?
Honestly, not many.
Yeah, like 0 is my bet myself.
You clearly do not have enough Nicolas Cage.
Like a flamethrower.
It's trying to get out!
You know what? I never misspelled anything. Not once. Not one time.
Thank you. Tally was one.
We can't stop here. This is bad country.
No, that's Johnny Depp.
That's not Nicolas Cage.
Wait. Oh fuck! I was mixing people up.
Can we just all go in and refer to each other as something Cage? So one of us will be Nicolas Cage, another one of us will be Luke Cage, another one will be Johnny Cage.
What is this Among Us mode?
I appreciate this naming convention. No, or even if all be Nicolas Cage characters.
Oh yes, yes. All right. So want to use Cameron Poe.
I call Ghost Rider.
So you're Johnny Blaze.
Who wants to be Cameron Poe?
Can I abstain from this?
By abstaining, you automatically make yourself Big Daddy.
No. By abstaining, I abstain. I do. I will leave this Discord call right now.
We need to play a game which is like the League of Multiversal whatever, where
everyone's
turn into what they're.
character. I want to do that now.
The main villain is like a superposition of Nicolas Cage characters that he just swaps through as we fight him.
All right, you know what? Fine, I'll be Spider-Man Noir. There.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I forgot he did that. Damn.
Can I be Spider Pig?
No.
Well, no. That's John Mulaney.
I know.
It's not Nicolas Cage.
All right, come on, important one. Who's Castor Troy? Face Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys not seen Face Off?
I've seen Face Off.
Fantastic.
I'm calling Benjamin Franklin Gates. You're gonna have to provide one for me in and out of character.
I'm assigning you Castor Troy.
Okay, yeah, that works. I like it.
Oh, boy.
Cameron Poe, Ben's
You are one of the craziest ones, in my opinion.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
What?
No.
What?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
What?
You son of a... Who wants to be Superman?
No.
Oh.
No.
Nope.
That
Nope.
actually was.
I understand the rest.
Also, that was never released, so it doesn't count.
No, I understand where Izzy's going with this. Still no.
What do you
Too
mean?
much of a nod, not enough of a real role.
Yeah, it was never made. Doesn't count.
Okay.
No, he's referring to Teen Titans where Nicolas Cage does the voice in Teen Titans.
No, I looked at it. It was like third on the list.
Wait,
I'm like,
what?
apparently Nicolas Cage was the voice of Superman in
Teen Titans Go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Teen Titans.
Look,
Well, that doesn't
look.
count.
Weird Al was the voice of Darkseid in that. Okay, like.
Yeah, that actually was hilarious.
Wait, what? That's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Like,
I don't.
Teen Titans Go is a terrible show, but its voice casting is on point.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really bad, but sometimes like it has flashes of it knows how bad it is and knows exactly what it's doing and just like shits on its fans, which is why I hate it.
It does in fact do that.
Also, did anyone else's mind touch the void when watching the Jiu-Jitsu trailer?
It looks.
I've not seen it.
It doesn't look very good.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Honestly, it looks like a fucking Nick Cage movie. So like,
Oh,
I
absolutely does.
don't know what you expect, really.
I can't parse it. My
The
brain
man does
can't
have
make
an
it make
Oscar.
sense.
Let's see.
There are a lot of people that have Oscars.
I
Yeah.
know.
Someone has to be Sorcerer's Apprentice Nicolas Cage and pretend to be a bad Harry Dresden.
Well, Sorcerer's Apprentice has to be Iris.
I will definitely take that.
Oh crap! I completely forgot about that movie. Thanks for putting it back in my head,
Yeah.
Wash or Wex, whoever you are.
Yeah, it was Wex.
I mean,
I'm blaming Wash as well. He didn't stop.
Dan's first in the blame line.
Fine.
The filmography, I love it. I would have a Nick Cage-a-thon any day. Someone's got
all know that this is ultimately Dan's fault that we're having this conversation in the first place. You're welcome.
And then we're all in one heist movie.
You just wanted to say
To
you're welcome.
rob real life Nicolas Cage.
Has Nicolas Cage ever been in a movie with Jim Carrey?
Probably.
Because I want to watch that.
I don't think he has been.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't. But
Oh, I forgot. Someone can be Big Daddy from Kick-Ass. Someone said that.
oh yeah.
Now that's why I was saying Ziggy could be if he still wants to be the straight man.
Again, I'm already going to be Spider-Man Noir. He's already pretty straight man.
I don't understand how this works.
Yeah. Well, again, he just doesn't see color.
You will.
Quite literally.
That movie is great.
It is great.
It's
great.
a
I
national
love that
treasure.
Nick Cage was. I remember watching that. This is the last time I'll say that. We'll get started. That I remember watching that, and I turned to Jill. I'm like, "Is that Nick Cage?
Yes.
Is that Nick Cage speaking?
Yeah.
I think that's Nick Cage."
He is a good actor. He's just
No,
trying to take
yeah,
literally
he
every
can't.
role offered to him.
Yeah, he can be a good actor if he wants to. He just prefers to take really shitty roles,
He just
like Adam Sandler.
Hang on. By the way, wait, someone should be Dr. Tenma.
Oh wow, that's
from
Astro Boy.
Also,
from the CG Astro Boy movie.
actually, the reason Nick Cage takes so many roles is because when he first got famous, he spent way too much money and like bought a castle and went majorly into debt, and then he had to take anything that would give him a decent paycheck. to get out of it for many years, and now he's finally out of it and does whatever the fuck he wants, and he still does those because now he enjoys them.
I mean, when you've already been typecast,
he is living his Nick Cageiest life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Here's the thing: him and Adam Sandler, they're having fun with what they do at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Adam Sandler, like his whole thing, he makes his own movies. His movies are basically the excuse for him and his friends to travel and do a little acting job.
I don't think Adam Sandler actually has fun with most of his movies, to be honest.
What's that?
I don't think Adam Sandler actually has fun with most of his movies these days.
I don't know. He looks like he looked like he had a pretty fun time in Hubie Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the
trailer.
I
heard that was good.
It's surprisingly okay. Yeah.
It's freaking the Water Boy grew up, and this is what he's doing now.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
Also, Minerva's code name for this heist is Donald.
Why? He asked, dreading the answer.
How many of you have seen Adaptation?
Nope.
No. Sorry.
Damn it! It's such a good movie.
I have heard it is, but
it's something special.
Okay, so why don't we get started?
Okay.
All right. So I need to preface this game a little because we're going to change the rules a bit for this session. I'm going to try the dumb idea. I think Wash proposed it of having the heist start at the end.
Okay.
So the very first scene of this will be describing where you guys are. And the way we're going to do this is you're then going to recount the story. It's going to have to just be very like trade-off with this. Someone will have to go back and start it at the beginning, and we'll basically play it all the way through.
Okay, so Rashomon or Ocean's 11 Which of these do you prefer?
I don't actually know the Rashomon reference.
Rashomon is literally it's the same story but from different viewpoints. So some people may or may not be lying, and in the end you don't know. The final story may be a mix of truth and lies.
What do you guys prefer?
I mean, well, the thing with Ocean's 11 is that it kind of works with the hero point system, and that it can be like, this shit was all going to hell. Oh, but then there was this twist thing that we did 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Ocean's 11 it's under the framing device of we're planning out the heist, and then and then we see the heist happening in real time. But then they go back to, but what if the guard shows up? As the guard shows up, and then we've already planned for that.
There was that weird shot with the van with the air freshener on it that we saw like an hour ago that meant nothing, but now that it's coming back and it's this thing.
Yeah.
No, I actually want to do it differently altogether. I want to have the end predetermined.
Okay.
I'm going to give you where you end up and what you have around you, and it's up to you to figure out how you got there.
So we're talking more Zero Time Dilemma.
This sounds a little bit more like Memento.
Memento is...
Don't Memento into this. Please do not.
It's like that movie, Finding Dory.
Serenity
is going to give Nagaru a hug.
Anyways, so the way that I'd like this to work is, again, you're basically gonna end up recounting the story. I'm going to have some characters there that will serve as means to tell the story, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. And pretty much, I'd like you to kind of retell it. You're still going to be rolling dice and testing stuff. So if we get to a moment that requires like a skill roll, you're still going to do it, and based on that will affect the story. I'm going to give you guys a little more control of your own fail and success conditions than I usually do.
Okay.
I may have my plant characters interject occasionally, and when we do combat, rather than have it be like the usual way we do it, because I don't want a number count, you can still do attacks, and we'll do saves, but rather than have it be like straight out like counting numbers, describe in general the severity of what you do, and we'll reasonably say whether it takes someone out or not, or even if it has like some complications into it. Maybe you hit someone hard enough to send them through a wall, and that knocks some rubble down on you.
May I make the suggestion of, I forget what system it is, but without really rolling dice, state what you want to do if it's obvious, and if you're really pushing what you would do, you then take a quote-unquote complication where something happens to you or something happens around which is negative and will come back to bite us in the ass, but you do get that super success as a result.
There are many systems like that.
Yeah.
That is
I'm running something using
the advance, yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine if you want to like I said, this is going to be really experimental. We're just going to kind of like try to tell the best story we can. I refer to this more based on like enemies and stuff that show up. You can't just like, unless like mooks maybe, but you can't for like named enemies just instantly beat them. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to kind of play that out, even if it's a soft playing out. And what I'll do is like kind of have like a soft like HP system for them to see how many like hits they could actually take, and I'll like illustrate if they like actually go down.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense for y'all?
That makes sense. Checks out.
So
On.
you ready to try this weirdo thing we're gonna attempt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay. So you all slowly come to. You find yourself in a large room made of stone, with sand spread around the ground. The architecture has an ancient feel to it. Vaguely Arabic, but you can't really determine exactly the source. The room seems to have no obvious windows or doors, but sconces line the wall to give it light. You each find yourselves waking up slowly, but there's a sense of powerlessness about you. You feel as if your powers are not working at their maximum efficiency. Looking around, you see the six of you in whatever state it was, and I'll let you determine this, whatever state it was at the end of the heist. Let's see, what did I say? It was a set of scales, right?
Yes.
Yep.
The scales of horse.
The scales lie on the ground, slightly bent and tarnished. In the room with you, there also happens to be a skeleton sprawled out in the corner.
Oh, great.
Do something with that.
And there is, let's see, a member of the Lightning Militia who is kind of just huddled in the corner and holding his arms and legs in a fetal position.
So we're all here in this room. Is it a cell?
It feels kind of cell-like, yes.
But there's a member of the lightning squad here.
Yes.
It looks kind of
The
vaguely
Lightning
Arabic.
Militia, not the team, though, right?
Yes, correct.
But there's also a skeleton. We can do something with that.
There's also a skeleton.
And as you guys are coming to, the skeleton sits upright. Whoa, that was a trip, it says.
Can we not have another one?
I'm just gonna start screaming as soon as the skeleton moves.
It starts screaming too.
I'm just going to sit there and say, I told you. I told you that was the wrong type of magic. It's not the type I know.
Boys, dry bones here.
So you're saying that we got toothpaste in the scaled peanut butter.
Okay, are we done screaming?
Look,
Is it screaming time? I don't really know. Like this is the first I've been awake in a while. Okay, it's screaming time still.
Frayzone, can you please solve this problem?
Just reach over
Is that
and slowly close the
Look.
jaw.
does anyone still have the scales?
Of me, or
I mean, they're on the floor. How did you guys bend an ancient magical artifact anyway?
By the way, as you do this, you hear a whimpering in the corner. The Lightning Militia guy, whose uniform is torn up, his visor is bashed, he has no weapons. He's like, "It's all just a bad dream. It's all just a bad dream. It's all just a bad dream. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, hush
You're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up soon. You're gonna wake up soon."
Dude, you signed up to be a militia that deals with supers. I'm sorry. I don't have any compassion for you right now.
And we are clearly supervillains, Serenity will say as she stands up in her Radiance outfit, which is soaking wet.
Oh, right.
I like that detail. Good detail right there. I want to know how we got to that point. Yeah, why don't you all just have... I'd like us to have some fun with this. Describe what you currently look like. This is your discretion and call.
Let's see. Geist is currently he's wearing a he's wearing a very different hoodie. It's a Hello Kitty hoodie, hot pink.
Hair tied back and in a suit, same exact style and cut as John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, but wearing a Nicolas Cage mask.
In the being a discount heavy Harry Dresden, ours is definitely has like a big, super definitely magical staff in one hand, leather duster, bandana mask, and like.
You guys went through with this. Okay. Sure.
So Hex has basically a pure white version of like the full body suit that she wears. The helmet is also pure white with a pale but still kind of opaque blue visor. Looks decidedly less techy than her original costume.
Am I the last one left?
Yep.
Okay. I am in my metal form, which has been modified slightly by me to look like I am covered in plates, and there has been applied a shellac of chromium bronze.
So
an armadillo droid.
You cannot be metal right now.
Oh, why not?
Because right now your powers don't feel super working, any of you.
Well, in that case, my fur is full of shellac that recondensed on my normal fur when I stopped being metal.
Yeah, your powers feel inherently all kind of nullified / shut off right now.
The thing I was leading up to is I would have identified myself as the the angry armadillo or something like that, and nobody would have been able to tell the difference.
I mean, that could have been the case, but
Yeah.
right at this second,
Yes.
you are not.
Can we please...
I'm okay with taking a hit for that. I'm already a kangaroo. There's not much better I can do than that.
So Wash wants to become a 2000s platforming adventure character. Got it.
Kangaroo Jack?
Kangaroo
No, like
Jack.
video game. Mascot. Video game mascot. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in this place. It's a fairly spacious cell. You notice there is a... Yeah, again, the scales are where they are, and there appears to be no door or windows at all.
I will go and pick up the scales. Are they okay?
Kind of bent. Upon looking at it, one of the scales has actually been torn off.
Oh God.
So, Mr. Skeleton, how did we get here?
Well, I mean, that's interesting. It's still
Enough with the screaming.
It's a talking skeleton!
It's a talking bag of meat!
You literally conjure all sorts of weird things. How is this strange to you?
He's got a sword.
Serenity. It's a magic skeleton that is here who's going to guide us on a journey.
As you say my name, I smack your face. Don't you ever use my real name, young lady.
That
never normalized.
would be smarter than I would be in this regard. What was your...
Radiance Prime. Have you never played Grim Fantango?
Oh,
Never sanitize death of spiders.
I haven't, but I have played Breath of Death 7.
Close enough.
Is it though?
If it'll get her to stop screaming, yes.
All right. Well, were there any friendly skeletons in Breath of Death 7?
Not really, no.
Okay, then it's not a good example, is it?
Oh, so you're saying he's a friendly skeleton, like Jack Skellington?
Hi.
Yes, he's exactly like Jack Skellington.
Hey,
Look
nice
at
to
that.
meet you. Name's Bonesley.
There, you see, he's even got a punny name like Jack Skellington. He's a good skeleton.
Bonesley,
That's how you can tell.
Bonesley, sing for us.
Okay. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
Okay. That's enough. You don't have. You can stop now.
All right, sure thing, Mac.
Yeah. Anyway, so how exactly did we end up in this cell? Were you awake for it?
I remember some of it, but how did it all even start? I don't think I was, moving around at first.
All right. Okay. Well, let's all try and think back here.
I'm not sure if he's supposed to be one of my summons or not now.
Can you sense it? Like, do you have some sort?
I should be able to. Like, Wex, is he one of mine?
You can't tell right now.
Probably not then.
If this place nullifies our powers, then wouldn't he just go poof?
He should.
So it probably isn't then.
It's a bad dream. It's just a bad dream. Guy in the corner, by the way. It's just a bad dream.
All right. Well, let's
see.
So the setup went fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what if you consider the fact that 3 alarms went off before we even got to the room. Fine, sure.
Well, the distraction went off fine, but the distraction went off fine. It was the actual museum part that posed complications.
So let us flash back then.
Bruni got an ouchie.
So let's do the distraction now. I know it was put out in the heist chat, but we should still play this out.
Sure.
Oh shoot! I need to read.
So as we fade back in the mists of flashback, to the day of the heist,
which may or may not still be today.
Yeah. Yep. Is anybody wearing a watch?
I have an internal computer.
And we have phones now. Who the fuck has watches anymore?
Oh yeah, your phones, by the way, if you take them out, have 0 service and are totally drained of power.
Okay. Well, the clock still works.
No,
actually, yes, the clock does still work, despite it being out of power.
What about the clock on my brain computer?
Oh right, Dan. Oh. Dan, you're not having a great time right now.
Oh, good.
At least he gets a hero point for not having a great time right now.
Yay!
Yeah.
You're for the first time in a very long time dealing with the world with normal senses.
Oh, I don't like it.
I'm assuming I am roughly doing the same thing.
Yup.
Oh, can I talk?
Yes, it is too inherently a part of what you are.
Yeah.
I've essentially given you a mass nullify on powers that doesn't negate you.
So Hector's going to sprawl on the ground for the entirety of our conversation because she feels slightly queasy.
Yep.
Oh boy. Somebody gave the virus to the computer that wore tennis shoes.
I'm just gonna reach out.
Hey, I get that reference. That movie was great.
I'm just gonna reach out an arm and rub your back.
That would be very difficult seeing as I'm on my back.
I will.
Now, what a bunch of... These guys are kind of weird, ain't they, pal? As Bonesley goes over to the Lightning Militia guy, who screams and, tries to crawl into a corner.
This can hardly be the strangest thing you've dealt with at your job.
I mean,
did you see all the hiring posters going around? They probably had some rookies.
Yeah. Plus, after things kind of went the way they did, look, if it was his first day, I probably wouldn't be too quick to handle
we
it
should
either.
recruit him as one of my robot minions or kill him.
I shouldn't even... in the name of Judge Thunder, you're all under arrest?
Yes, that is the 3rd or 4th time we've heard that today. You can see how well that went.
You don't even know who we are, do you?
I don't
You have no idea.
I am Radiance, the alpha bitch of this land. You will bow before me.
Yeah,
No,
she is that.
I know who you are. You're Spectrum.
Who?
Oi, grown man doesn't know what a Nardvark looks like.
I was really hoping I wouldn't keep a nervous hope for this, but apparently that's going to happen. All right, first, how the fuck did we get here?
Well, it all started on a Tuesday.
Yeah, well, it started with the distraction.
Nothing
It started with the distraction, which went really well.
All right,
That story started in like April.
Surprisingly well.
let's do the distraction.
Yep.
So I do need this one. I did read it. I'd still like this one played out a little bit, please.
So we had a giant fire lizard that was kind of running around, like, running around the streets and like breaking sidewalk shit, but not doing any like really bad
No
property
real harm.
damage.
Wherever it ran, it would leave a trail of fire behind it, and it was moving not at like a super speed clip, but like it can cover a block in, a couple of seconds. Like, not super speed level, but really, really quick. Like, quicker than most cars. And, like, if it sees a hot dog stand, run over to the hot dog stand, give out a little, like, ah! The guy probably looks, gets scared, sticks its head into the hot dog thing, eats hot dogs, pulls head out while chewing on hot dogs. Guy shouts, my hot dogs!
Did you just make the fire lizard from Frozen 2?
Yes.
Also, the cabbage stand is the hot dog stand.
All
now.
of my elemental spirits were the frozen things.
My Frankfurters!
My Frankfurters! So yeah, choose. Here's a noise. Turns
I remember. Yeah, wait, that was you. We got the call about that on the radio.
Who was saying that?
No, I thought we were flashing back.
Yeah, that's what was the flashback.
It is. That's the lightning militia guy talking.
What?
So we're going back and forth.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little back and forth.
Didn't you get bring uncontrollably a second ago?
I mean, I'm just trying to make sense of it. Okay, listen, I'm not really. I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, I need the full story when we get back from wherever we are and they need to arrest you, right?
I feel like Paul's out of character. I feel like we would not actually be saying this in front of him in character.
Yeah, we probably would have like knocked him out or something.
Okay, well.
Yeah, like the flashback with him providing commentary, it feels like not what we would do.
Okay, then I'm just going to redact, and he's not there at all.
Wex, I'm going to be frank. The actual answer is I would have memory wiped him with Minerva at the end of this.
Okay, do you want to just do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
That'll work.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll use that.
I will absolutely allow that with no roll.
Okay.
So yeah, Broody was just running up and down the streets, trying to, get everybody's attention and, eating all the hot dogs. And they were really good hot dogs on 5th
Oh,
Street.
yeah, I remember we got the call on the radio about that, but Thunder said hold position. So we did.
I mean, Thunder's kind of a moron, in case you haven't noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but that's why he sent Firework to deal with it.
Yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. I gotta say, like, it's probably good that she wasn't at the actual museum during all that.
Mm-hmm.
I really would have hated to break all her stuff.
Well, but she wasn't later.
Not when it mattered.
Yeah, not when it mattered.
She wasn't there for the initial break-in, and that's when it really mattered.
Hey, you should tell me more about this. I don't remember any of this stuff. I wasn't awake yet.
Yeah. All right,
Well, we have a plan for dealing with Bernie. Was his name?
With who?
Bird, yeah, Broody. My giant lizard.
Yeah, we had a plan for dealing with Bruni, which was obviously that, well, Iris and Hex were out on patrol because we're some of the only members of Spectrum who've been regularly doing patrols visibly right now.
Yeah. Also, that
And
worked
we
out.
just so happened to run across a flaming list burning down, I think, Razorin's favorite hot dog stand.
I mean, she's got like 12.
Yeah.
Even one is too many.
He wasn't burning it down. He was just getting hot dogs to bring back to us. He just leaves fire wherever he goes.
And therefore, he was burning it down.
Oh. Oops.
But that was not, That was a relatively easy problem. We showed up on scene full of pomp and circumstance as always.
Hold on, which one of you's... Who actually showed up there?
Oh, Lester Cyrus and Hex showed up on scene pretty early on.
Those no good heroes.
Truly dastardly.
Yeah, I remembered that in the report. That was where we thought you were.
Right, yeah, because that's where they were.
That's where they were. Unfortunately, the lizard tunneled underground.
Which, I thought its only thing was shooting fire behind it. How did it tunnel that well?
Melting asphalt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It actually melted the asphalt with its ass.
Yep. But I mean, in the short term, it worked out really well for us because it created the tunnel that the lightning losers had to chase into. So
I mean, I didn't
that's
know.
true. That did mean that we didn't have to knock it through a building and dismiss it.
Yeah, is that what happened to A Squad?
pretty much. I mean, I don't know what happened to him since. I assume they're still chasing the thing.
Well, I don't know either. I've lost radio comms with them.
I thought A Squad were the ones that got on the spaceship and got stuck off planet. I'm glad someone got that.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Is that a Power Rangers joke?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. That's an SPD reference.
Too much pink energy.
Yeah.
I got
That's later. That's later
Wow.
than
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't much earlier, in fact.
that was one of the better seasons.
Then we were just able to kind of pop out and take kind of an overwatch position to see to make sure we could get in and not be distracted by a flaming lizard.
Yep,
Yep. You don't want to be caught off guard by a flaming lizard in a tight tunnel.
it's true.
Okay, so yeah, that's I guess what happened to A Squad. We did lose contact with them. There was something about chasing the class 74 threat.
They're probably fine.
Not chase into the
Yeah.
tunnel, but you know,
Nothing. Yeah, it'll be fine. A couple burns, and that's all it'll be.
But yeah, while that was happening, wasn't that the point where the looking at Iris for what her villain name is?
it basically has to be Morgana.
Morgana was able to track it, and then that's when Athena gave you guys the signal to actually start the heist proper.
I get it.
I got that too.
Yeah.
So that's when Donald gave us the go sign, and the EMP devices went into the museum and started, blowing all the circuits out of the building.
Yep. So for the actual mechanics of that, 60-foot. Each one is a 60-foot radius burst. They're all rank 7 weaken electronics effects.
Yeah, and these guys are minions, so there's no rolls. That just worked.
Yeah. So you guys had a bunch of unarmed guards with useless weapons and tech gear. How did you? How?
Well, they were. We told you already. They were walking. The dinosaur exhibit was right next door to the ancient Egyptian exhibit. I didn't realize that they were going to pick up the caveman weapons.
I mean, listen, the code 34 of the handbook says you fight with what is available until the end.
That's really morbid. But you guys are supposed to come for more, take the thing and leave. How did you even?
Well, you don't remember though. We were ready. Yeah, you kind of surprised us with that, and we kind of got our faces beat in. But that's what Judge Thunder said would probably happen, because that's when Stygian sprung his trap.
Right. He's stupid.
The flaming circle.
The flaming circle that somehow prevented my magic from reaching those inside of it.
And it was a little too hot for me to phase through.
Well, that and the walls that Plasmoid coded.
Those weren't really problems.
We were lucky it ended up being me in there.
I mean, speak for yourself. I don't know what that stuff is, but I don't care for it.
All right, so I need to like just reorient myself. Who was actually in the museum? This is GM.
Everyone except for Hex and Iris.
Let's drag our characters away because Hex and Iris were over here dealing with a flaming lizard while everyone else was in the museum.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Iris was watching the museum and planned to provide assistance from afar if needed, and Stygian found some weird extra-dimensional null field made of fire that fucked everything up.
So let's see. Who would be on the outside then? I'm just sorting out my guys for a minute.
I know fireworks eventually, but Iris next.
Yeah, these 5. Yeah, well, again, Judge Thunder had caught word that someone was going to be breaking in, and that was the trap we set up. They knew we knew you didn't have someone who really knew magic. The Stygian did the fire circle and also put the wards around you. I think that's what he called them. I think he said they were blood circles from the Eldritch Moon or something like that. Kid kind of is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
I mean, he does shop in the Get Over Yourself store a lot.
It's true. Well, he did well. The problem is, he didn't account for the floor, thankfully, which is why we were able to get away. But, well, at the very least from the initial part. But it did kind of force us to improvise once we reached the basement. That thing is a labyrinth. It's a freaking museum.
Yeah. Well, what you didn't even realize that was you didn't even realize that we had already set that up. We had already figured for that. We had EMP shielding around the cameras down there, so we were able to track you down there. And TikTok kept resorting things and locking doors and re-enabling systems as you went through.
Yeah, at that point.
So glad that one shield door did not go down fully, though.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to escape their little labyrinth they were setting up.
Yeah, for all the good it did us.
Well, at least at that point, you guys were active on the comm, so I was able to tell Iris to transport me into the security room so I could compromise the rest of the systems.
And
which, I mean, it mostly worked.
It did. I was not happy with the effect I made. Honestly, I really should have bought better fireworks for this.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing was that with everything that was going on, I was able to set off at least some of the stuff. Because obviously some of that stuff in the main room was pretty high tech. So even though it didn't fully get knocked down from the EMP, I was able to reactivate some of it and actually put at least a little bit of fear of God into Stygian.
Yeah.
Sorry about this. You were the one with the singe mark on your ass, right? Sorry about that. I didn't quite look at where the laser grid was going to reactivate.
He rubs his butt. He's like, I guess I get it. Again, I took cover for most of that, so I got to see a lot of it happen.
Yeah. From there, we were able to make a break for it to the parking garage, but friggin'
They reconvened and were waiting for us there.
Yeah.
I gotta say, we were pretty lucky that that your phasing actually worked on the artifact. We would have been really screwed.
Yeah, that would have been a lot worse if we hadn't. Unfortunately, it didn't really help us in the meantime.
We were entirely correct that my magic was unable to affect the artifact. Thankfully, we planned around that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I ran into those doors that we couldn't get through before. I helped us take the more direct approach.
Yeah. Then, after that, let's see.
Things are a little hairy in the parking garage, if I recall.
Yeah. I got hit with something. What was that?
Oh, wait, I remember that. I didn't get to see that, but that was when we Judge Thunder radioed in and said that he was on his way.
Oh, did that asshole sucker punch me?
I'm trying to figure out a point of view character, how you guys have moved it in an interesting direction.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought it was Platypus Man who hit you, which defied all expectations.
Was it Platypus Man?
Oh yeah, no, I remember. It was Platypus Man. Came out of nowhere, socked you in the face. Oh yeah, I was there at that point.
He got out of my grip to do it.
How the hell did Platypus Man even hit me?
I just kind of dove out of nowhere, socked you in the face, and stabbed you in the side.
So he did sucker punch me.
Yeah, he was coated in that weird goo that Plasmoid's made of.
Oh, that explains it. I really don't care for that guy.
Yeah, no, I remember it because this is the point that, oh yeah, that's what happened. Me and a couple of the other Bone Boys were sent after you by Stygian. Kind of reanimated a bunch of us. Yeah, I remember that now.
That's right.
Creepy.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he did do that. They
Healing
lasted
with what?
a good number of seconds. About your brothers, if cared about them.
Ah, don't worry. I was better than being in that anthropology exhibit.
You have a very strange sense of priorities. Is that normal for your job?
Well, it's not uncommon for us to find.
Well, that was the skeleton.
Yeah, try to do the skeleton with this voice here.
Yeah. The skeleton wasn't really doing much before he got reanimated. If he even really is reanimated.
Brother, I don't know. I'm just Bonesley, eh?
I guess so, yeah.
But I remember at that point, I think we tried to interfere, but I don't know. I remember us getting all smacked aside and shattering apart a bit. You know.
That was gray zone. A bunch of bones don't really do much against a giant metal kangaroo.
Yeah, that's
Armadillo.
I think Iris also started teleporting random weapons from the exhibits into the skeletons.
No. What I did was I animated my own weapons and sent them flying against Stygian.
Right.
But I actually was surprised. You're the phasey guy, right? I was surprised you even kept going. That platypus dude, it looked like you were starting to slow down after you took that spur to the thigh.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. But, you know.
Hey, fun fact, platypus are poisonous? I don't know how I know that.
Yeah, I did know that.
They don't do much.
Well, except apparently sucker punch people like assholes. Well, either way, even with the poison, you can't exactly, stop me from going where I want to.
Nah, but that's when his big friend showed up.
Yeah.
Don't know what that guy's made of, but it sure doesn't mesh well with you.
Yeah, I don't care for that guy. At all.
Yeah, he tried to engulf you, right?
Yeah, he did. Thanks for reminding me.
That did not look comfortable.
Yeah. Well, thankfully I was able to get through the floor where he could envelop me. But that's not a situation I care to repeat.
Did he think you were undead or something?
No, I think he just knew what my deal was, which is annoying.
I said it was a boon to us that they never thought with the Z-axis.
Yeah.
They kept assuming that the floor and the ceiling would stop, anything.
Yeah, and thankfully, that's, seems like that's the only reason we were able to get away with that as far as we did.
Yeah. I did have Iris teleport in Donald at one point, and I may or may not have started hot wiring cars and rolling them into their way so they couldn't go down the ramps between levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think
but some of those guys, you should have seen them in action. TikTok was stopping those cars dead in their tracks. Literally.
Yeah, it was kind of funny the one time that he forgot to refresh his time stop, and then I had the car blew up on him. Hopefully that cinched him a little bit.
Her.
Yeah.
Oh, right. She's the terrible one.
Or the grease spell. Never forget the classics. Sticky oil that then got lit on fire.
That was Looney Tunes level bullshit, I will admit.
This entire group is made of Looney Tunes level bullshit.
I mean,
we actually lit it by sparking something off of my skin, so...
Yeah, the problem was, if I remember correctly, there was this big old clap of thunder outside as I think you guys were about to leave.
Yeah, that's when Judge Asshole showed up and he blocked our path.
We were hoping to get away before he actually appeared.
Yeah.
But thinking back on it, probably wasn't a good idea to just shout law at him when he appeared.
No, it really wasn't. That did not help matters.
Yeah, is that why you ended up flying back through the wall?
I mean, I think that was a personal choice, but yeah.
Because you went flying real fast, and that looked pretty painful, and there was like lightning sparking around you as you did.
Yeah, that did not look great from the security cameras and Donald's perspective.
Well, fortunately, most of my suit was made of conductive crystals. So it shielded me from the bulk of it, but I definitely felt my hair standing on end for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, Firework Pot showed up out of nowhere, and I really thought you guys were screwed. I didn't expect her to get back that quick.
Yeah. And then after that, Judge Asshole shot his lightning eye.
Some of her tech, but
Yeah, they had us cornered, and then Judge Asshole threw his lightning at me, and I think I threw up the artifact just out of reflex, and it hit it, and then kind of all hell broke loose. I think he activated it somehow.
Yeah, I remember. It was this big old flash of light, and just boom! And everything started... Remember, I don't know how it was exactly. It was like dissolving into sand or something.
everything around us was no longer stable in terms of how anything works spatially after that.
Is that what the inside of a tornado looks like?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if the tornado exists in 5 dimensions, yes.
Yeah, because how did it catch you and I, but not Judge Thunder? I mean, then again, he could just be somewhere else in wherever the hell it is we are.
Well,
just the shockwave alone blew him to God knows where.
Well, you don't remember that prophet guy pushed him out of the way, like he knew it was coming.
I'd say it definitely caught me because I jumped at it trying to stop it.
Yeah, and then Prophet grabbed the other end of it, remember?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, is that where the one scale went?
Well, it's what caused it to wishbone, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay, we got the wish.
Yeah, it was a big old flash of light, and then
Then we went his head, and then we woke up here. Is that right?
yeah, I think so, mate. I think so, buddy.
So where the hell is here? Are we still in the museum?
That's an excellent question. Let me tap my infinite well of knowledge for this.
Hey, I've got one of those too.
No, wait, I'm a skeleton.
Well, wherever it is, we don't have our powers. It seems.
We can't.
I mean, well, can I try?
It's really
facing
hard
the
for
wall?
me to imagine that Stygian created you.
We can't really pick your brain, can we?
Well, I mean, after that huge shockwave, who knows what happened to the other skeletons?
I don't know.
That thing might have given you a soul for all we know.
I don't know. Yeah, you're thinking too much about it, pal.
The other skills, I am worried about what happened to the rest of the squadron during that shockwave, because Judge Thunder and Prophet knew what was coming. I'm not sure the rest did.
Well, they were all there. Remember, they all got caught up in stuff and everything.
Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, I know that. They weren't. I know that all of them weren't as fast as on the uptake as we were, and a lot of us weren't very fast on it either.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how? Like, for all we know, half of them could be here.
Yeah.
Well,
for all we know, they could be on Mars.
That's a nice story and all, but I think I have to place you under arrest.
Hex, would you mind?
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna kind of wave a hand lazily in his direction, not even like getting up off the ground. He's just gonna kind of.
Nope.
No, I
Nope.
thought you.
You don't have powers right now. That means Minerva's offline right now.
Well, all right, I guess we'll do that later.
Yeah.
He stands up shakily, and points a finger at you, though he looks really nervous. He's like, I sanction you under Sanction 32 of the Martial Law Code of Conduct.
That's cute, man. That's real cute.
It's 6-1. You've got a singed ass. Might be 7-1 if Bonesley's in on it.
Nah, I'm good. I'll just watch.
Okay, 6-1 then.
6-1.
Well,
easy, kid.
then I defer. I enact the temporary prisoner deputization. We don't know where we actually are, so for the moment, I am inducting you to help us find our way out so that you can be properly turned over to the authorities.
Sure, let's go with that.
Sure.
If it makes you feel better, we will comply for now.
Do we have?
If I get to curse you later, maybe.
I will stretch, put my...
This still doesn't explain why I'm all wet.
Plasmoid. You were dealing with Plasmoid the entire fight.
Wait, don't you remember you wanted to get that gunk off of you, so you had the water main broken at the... you broke the water main that was pipe that was running along the roof of the for the sprinkler system of the parking garage.
Oh, I thought I thought that was a smoke system, so we could get an easy getaway.
Nah, I actually think that helped you out more than you thought, pal. That big blob guy didn't seem to like that very much.
Huh. Good to know. We'll have a spell to use on him next time. Also, a text has shown up. Wash, we cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't?
What?
No, now
I can hear you.
Okay.
When
to
you
butt in a few
ascend
times.
within, I was not hearing you.
I was trying to butt in a few times, and I wasn't sure.
Oh. Yeah,
It's all good.
we couldn't hear you then at the very least.
All right.
Okay.
So, do we feel the heist has been told?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that felt sufficiently chaotic for our plan.
Okay. That was not what I expected, but that's okay.
I mean,
What were you
That's part of the
expecting?
experiment.
I
yeah.
don't know. This was very experimental.
So how do we get out of here?
As you say that, the room starts to shake a little, and all the torches turn a shade of purple.
I appreciate the aesthetic.
The floor seems to shift, and the center envelops the remains of the scales, and seems to be a swirling vortex of sand, which then reforms itself into a dais, which rises basically made out of sandstone from the ground. There is a hourglass-based symbol on it that is glowing slightly.
Guys,
I would assume that we've managed to make it to our desired location, given that symbol.
I've played this before. We just need to find a dagger and pour the sand into the hilt.
Get right on that.
Yeah, that's probably won't end well for us.
No, I'd imagine not.
Those games are underrated classics.
It was a good game.
I'm going to hit the symbol on the dais.
Go up and touch it.
Yes.
The room glows slightly, and there is a swirl of sands around each of you, and a second later, you all find yourselves in your normal outfits, your normal costumes for the occasion.
Is the occasion formal or
Like
work related?
Your work superhero, what you would normally be in on the job.
Okay.
I mean, mine counts for both, but...
Does he know what I look like as Avatar? Because I have yet to use this costume in public.
Yes, yes.
You have yet to do it in your timeline.
I'm aware. I just want to make... These are hints we can know who we're dealing with now if we actually succeeded or if we utterly failed. Right now, we're leaning more towards success.
So let's see where. So as the sands finish swirling, they form. They then circle around the room and form the image of what looks to be a wizened old man, it's like a sand hologram.
I'm beginning to understand why Nana doesn't like this place.
Okay, out of character, what was this guy's name again? Because I cannot remember.
Azaman.
Are you Azaman or the Sandman?
I am, was, and will be the man known as Azaman. Why will you be in my realm? When did you get here?
A short time ago, and we come seeking your knowledge and advice.
At least we assume it's a short time ago. We're not entirely certain.
Relative to our perspective, a short time ago.
Yeah.
Is
You
he
have
the
used-
guru of the quickie heart?
You have used the scales to bring yourself here. Such a thing is forbidden.
Then why did you leave them in the normal world so people would have access to this world? Clearly you wanted somebody to use them.
Also, hi. Just an animal here. Didn't knock it over on purpose.
You have already
Sorry.
found the answers you seek. You will seek me out at the heart of my city. There you have found what you are looking for. And the sands disperse, and a door in the wall opens. Like it
So is there like a
drop-
zip code?
I'm going to guess there's multiple versions of us here, and we're going to go meet ourselves. This may not be accurate, but that's what my current guess is.
Yeah. I mean, it would be too convenient if we just got led to Paradigm through that door.
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming we're going to have to go to space at some point in order to find her.
You're not in space yet, guys. You got to
That's
deal with,
what I said. I said we're going to have to go there.
you got to deal with magic bullshit first. I love magic bullshit, especially when there's no one to stop it.
Are our powers still not working?
Your powers, as the door opens, come back online.
As I walk through, can I do a configuration change to Iris? Because we should have 2 magicians on the team for this.
Sure.
Yes, you definitely should. Also, I'm going to go walk through and appreciate what this city looks like, because it probably looks nothing like most places on Earth.
That's an understatement. So, you are in what looks like some sort of ancient Arabian city. It seems to sprawl out and span for forever. You, even Nick, with your powers, you sense no end to it.
I mean, my limit is a little bit into space, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. But it like there's no end, there's no pattern. It just is a maze of winding streets of strange architecture. Why can I not say that word? Architecture.
I'm absolutely studying that aspect of it.
The skies are a strange mix of orange and purple and seem to be a perpetual storm of sand and lightning. There's kind of like, overall, there is like a constant wind with just blowing sand everywhere. And you know for sure that you have found the city of Shai Dejed, the city that never was and always will be.
Nice.
I could spend years here just studying its architecture. We need more people making cities like this on Earth.
You're reasonably sure this city is not replicatable.
Yes, I stand by my ridiculous statement.
Wex, I have now seen the city with perfect memory, and I can create.
I mean, I've seen a city with similar things, and I want to try to do some of that, but that's a question for later.
Some of this architecture is not actually physically possible.
Oh, is it the infinite stairs in a square?
Yeah.
Some
I
of
mean,
it,
that recalls for sufficient use of superpowers to solve.
Wex, I want to teleport to like the highest spire and do like an Assassin's Creed look around.
Okay, flip.
Why does it smell like the taste of pudding here?
Is that pudding smells like to you?
Like that.
Wow, you don't see it set like that every day, eh?
Depends on how much you like pudding.
Hey, you mind if I tag along with you guys? You seem interesting.
Yeah, as well.
Might as well. Also, Hax, can you do what you were about to do to our other guest, seeing as how everything else is returned?
I'd rather. I mean, if someone's okay to carry him.
I suppose. I mean, I can't do it. I'm not. But you know,
I should warn you, metahuman action against a citizen or member of militia is a Class A felony, and you can receive jail or a special tribunal for doing so.
I honestly believe we're very far past that line right now.
Can I snap my fingers and turn him into a frog?
No,
Yeah.
dude. If you're saying that out loud, I'm gonna be like, please don't.
I was asking Wex.
No, absolutely. Would you like to turn him into a frog?
Yes, we will turn him into a frog. No, I will turn him into a small koala.
So there's
A koala.
snap your fingers. The uniform collapses to the ground, and out of it wriggles a koala.
I mean, the uniform should resize.
Is it a koala wearing a uniform?
Yes. It's adorable.
Is he a koala?
Yeah.
Does he believe he's a koala?
No, I think he knows exactly who he is, but he's a koala every other way, so only Greyzone can talk to him.
Eh, look at that! Little drop there, eh? Come here, you.
Armadillo.
We really have crossed that line, haven't we?
Also, sorry, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I'm kind of in and out.
It's all
I'm the
good.
best.
A gigantic amount of. We need to never, ever allow my parents to know that this happened.
Oh, I completely agree.
yeah.
I mean, he'll turn back.
I'm sure you folks will forgive you. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that, right?
No, they'll be encouraged. That's the problem.
Well, parents should be encouraging. At least
No, they should not be.
Well, some parents.
Well, that's what you get for taking advice from a skeleton.
No, if you're not encouraging to your children, you're a terrible parent.
You seem like a perfectly reasonable person, unlike my parents in most regards.
I mean, boyo, I'm just a skeleton, okay? I'm just going by what I've read on those anthropology panels for years. How did I read if I didn't have animation?
They had parents advice in the anthropology exhibit?
I don't know.
That seems oddly specific.
Did you follow your gut while you were doing things?
I don't got a gut.
There it is.
Because I'm a skeleton.
Yes, this has been established. So, the center of the city.
That's pretty hard to determine, actually.
Well, here's the thing. It probably is pretty much spatially. Architecturally, it sounds like that should be the most impressive part, and that I can try and figure out.
So, there's an interesting effect when you try to do so, Nick.
I mean, this is literally looking at it, Wex, like with eyes.
Oh. Well, from above, it's almost impossible. It looks like a labyrinth-like maze.
Right, but equally impressive and such throughout all of it.
Basically, you do see in the distance there appears to be a large tower of some sort. Way off in the distance, vaguely hourglass-shaped.
So, presumably that. Do we have enough sense of which direction of forward, back, left, right, up, down will get us closer to the tower?
You seem to.
Can we teleport there?
You want to try?
I say, looking at Iris.
I am going to try teleporting a very short distance nearby to confirm that's still actually working, because we're in a weird place.
Are you still in view of your friends?
Yes.
Okay, it works.
Okay, so let's all...
All right. Then I'm going to do a slightly longer one.
Are you in view of your friends?
When I start and end it, yes.
Well, for the longer one, I mean.
When I start and end it, yes. But, like, this is definitely... Those who have really good perception are in view.
Well, are you, like, teleporting through the air or, like, trying to go through the streets?
Oh, no, I'm definitely going on top of buildings. Like, that's what you do as a superhero.
Fair. Good point. The slightly longer one seems to work.
I'm going to try doing a very long one where like beginning and end would not necessarily be in view of us. Then that would get us right near the tower.
Are you doing this for everybody?
Oh yeah.
You find yourself in the middle of the streets.
So short hops it is.
So onto the top of building, 3 people teleport. The next 3 people teleport around them, and we're just like hop skipping over, so we're always in view of each other.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Cool.
work.
Yeah, as long as you like, kind of stay in view of each other, like the city isn't really gonna like envelop you or anything.
So a question: are any people in the city?
No, there are not.
Are there any animals in the city?
Also, no.
Disconcerting.
Are there any plants in the city?
Also, no.
Is there anything in the city besides city?
Nick, as you focus, you almost feel humanoid shapes. You think for a second, but the moment you try to focus on any of them, they seem to just dissolve from your perception.
There are things in the city that are very good at hiding themselves.
And Dan, your sensors are going all kinds of weird, useless, crazy.
Love non-Euclidean geometry.
I want to poke my head into...
The system for.
Okay, Serenity, can you give me that like spell effect that solved this problem the last time it happened?
Which spell effect?
It was some spell card that you used. Rather, it was some spell card that your brother used.
Oh, right, I have Begone Magic. I will cast Begone Magic right around us.
You are going to now make a contested roll against me.
Surely. This is an area of effect, by the way.
I want... that's not what you need... In order for this to work, you're basically trying to push through the effect of this city. You have to make a power roll.
That's fine, I'm just saying, like, I don't have to roll accuracy.
No, that's not accuracy at all. This is basically like a contested power.
Like
So
rank versus rank.
Yeah,
rank versus rank and roll versus rank and roll.
sure.
Your power is you start to make this aura, and as you do, the sands just seem to almost come to life and just tear it away until there's nothing there.
Okay, just so you know, I got an 18.
I got much higher.
Okay.
Quick, Scott, declare his number.
Yeah, Wex got higher than me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this, I rolled an 18 on the dice before I even added anything.
I don't think I can help you with this. But you're a better spellcaster than I am. I'm still just an apprentice.
Our magic works differently.
What are you talking about? I modeled my magic after your show.
Thank you. I didn't know you actually came. I offered tickets and even, like, honestly, a position on the stage to your brother multiple times, and he never took me up on it.
We were there.
You hear a voice. You may not know how to get there, but I do. And from behind a corner, the super squad emerges.
Oh, great. All of them?
All of them.
Wait.
You mean the shock troopers?
No, the
squadron?
heroes.
The squadron?
The squadron, that was it.
Okay, yeah, I was like...
Yeah, the squadron.
How did we not know they were there?
Yeah, the city kind of plays havoc with your senses, if you haven't noticed.
No, really?
I hadn't. I don't actually have any senses.
You all look a little, like, disconcerted, though Prophet seems very sure of himself. Firework sees you, and she's like, oh my god, you guys are okay. Oh, thank God.
You're here. You're all going to actually be involved in the meta game that we were a part of.
We probably shouldn't talk too much about that.
We haven't
Yeah,
been
well,
told-
What are you talking about, then, mate? What metagame? We're stuck in the city like you are.
Yeah, well, we wanted to come here for some answers. You're stuck in the city with us now. So come on, let's go try and find those answers.
This is so lame. My phone's not even working here.
Thank God for small mercies.
In your Instagram followers.
Is that TikTok or is that Stygian?
It's TikTok. Yeah, Stygian's far more obnoxious in a different way.
And guess what, Stygian? Now you have a wonderful story for your emo self to talk about being outside of space and time.
If only that were enough suffering to relieve my true pain.
I mean, you can stay here if you want.
Yeah.
No.
Pretty sure we wouldn't lose anything.
I'll make sure I come with them. Enough! Quit bantering with them. You want profit locks forward. Well, we could fight it out here again. You'd lose, but that wouldn't get any of us any closer.
That's funny. Not how I remember things were going.
And Plasmoid steps forward. Yeah, sure.
Oh, he finally talks. And here I thought it was just a big blob of nothing under there.
You want to talk, little guy?
I mean, calling and talking is pretty generous.
Yeah, true. Honestly, yeah, I expect more conversation from a speak and spell.
Show you. I don't even know what that is.
You know, I still like you more than Stygian.
That's fine. Nobody likes me. It's better that way. Alone in my suffering.
You don't have to be alone. Pats him on back.
People just recoils at that.
You just need a hug.
Yeah.
You
know, give him a hug. That seems just what the doctor ordered.
Body if you touch me again.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that because Geist was telling me to give him a hug, so I will do.
I will make hellfire erupt from every orifice of your
Hex,
body if you touch
Hex,
me.
you replaced all of the music in his MP3 player with like the most peppy pop ever, right?
Yeah,
That was the thing that I did. Yes.
Yeah, it's all bubblegum pop and like everything is awesome from the
Wex,
Lego movie.
I'm totally gonna try. I'm gonna be giving him a hug before he finishes his statement, just to make him feel better.
Yeah, I mean it's not like our powers work here anyway, so he's all bluster.
Our powers are functional again.
Oh, that's right, they are functional. Okay.
They may not function 100% the way you expect them to sometimes here, but they do function.
Got it.
Prophet, here is the direction to the center of the city, since you seem to know where it is. That way we can go there and presumably induct all of you in this weird conspiracy that the rest of us are in.
That's not how it works. I don't know where it is. I just know how to get there.
Oh, and how do you get there?
Follow me. The answers will reveal themselves.
Oh, boy. All right, lead the way, Swami.
Very well.
He's not a sandwich Geist.
That's salami.
So I can contact Minerva again, right?
Yes, though she's very fuzzy.
All right. At the very least, can I get a tracking bug on all of them?
Yeah, you're not sure how far it'll work in this place, but you can.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are going to wander the streets and get some character interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I will go around. Choose who you want to talk to.
I mean, you know, I'll bite the bullet. I'll talk with Plasmoid.
So okay, guys are one. He kind of like lumbers, like he almost doesn't walk. He kind of like slides around. Like he doesn't really lift his feet up as they are.
Yeah, no, I got
you. So yeah, I totally have gotten you if that fight went longer. You know that, right?
I mean, you know, when you had your friends sucker punch me, sure. In a real fight?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
That was really funny.
Yeah. Real funny.
So what's your deal exactly? You're some sort of terrorist, right?
Is that what they tell you?
I mean, yeah, they showed me, like, They showed me your file. I didn't really read it that carefully. Reading's for nerds.
Well, that's a shame.
PC term is activist.
Yeah, you might find that you learn something if you actually read, but fine.
Oh,
All
me
right.
too.
Since you weren't willing to, I might as well enlighten you. I'm not a terrorist. I just excel at making sure that people who would normally be avoiding of justice get their justice.
Oh yeah, that just sounds pretty good. Like, so like, yeah, that's what those that's what the news always says. That there's always these people avoiding justice, and they got to get proper justice, you know.
Yeah,
so I do what I do,
and that happens to be my specialty.
Great. So, when are you going to expose that conspiracy then?
You'll have to be more specific.
You know, the conspiracy about the socialists.
Oh,
Yeah, you know, socialist devil worshippers. That's what they tell us on the news. It's gotta be true if they say it on the news. I don't know what forums I go to. This day when I had hands, I could go to them.
You watched a lot of Fox, didn't you?
I mean, who doesn't?
Believe it or not, there are a lot more news outlets than Fox News.
Yeah, that's just fake news.
Boy, oh boy, this is the wrong week to have this conversation.
Sorry, this is. I do apologize just a bit, but this is the type of guy this character is.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
When we get out of this, we're all canceling Plasma on social media.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, that's why it's good. That's why we got to be heroes and use our powers for this stuff. You know, we got to make sure that we protect the people from like all those evils out there.
He's on the take.
Yeah.
No,
You are technically correct in the most strict sense of the word.
Yeah, there's a lot of evil out there, but a lot of evil that you may not necessarily be aware of.
There's good guys and there's bad guys.
Exactly.
Who makes the determination of who's who?
You're not having this conversation.
True, but I can probably keep track of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're telling me you're one of the bad guys then, right? You want to like shut down like businesses or something?
I shut down CEOs who have been stealing money from the people that work for them, if that's what you mean.
Those CEOs got where they are because they worked hard. They deserve it.
Oh, it's funny that you think that, but no, not really.
What? You're just jealous of them. If you worked hard enough, you could be where they are too.
Buddy, if I wanted to, I could transfer all their money to their accounts into mine. It wouldn't be hard, but it wouldn't be right either.
Yeah, sure you could.
Well, suffice to say, the people who don't play fair, I make them fair, and I'll leave it at that.
I do believe in fairness. It's good to be fair. It's better to win, but it's good to be fair, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go over here now.
Who's next?
I'm just gonna walk away.
I'm sorry, Ziggy. That's just it. I've tried to think of the antithesis of your character.
I know, and he really is. And I hate it, but you're right.
This is why you should invest stats and points into persuasion to fix this problem.
Yeah.
You're pretty dumb.
It's true. He is very dumb, but I'm not a very persuasive guy, so.
Yeah, like for real. Did not try to make this political today.
I know. Yeah.
All right. How about you, Sean? Who do you want to deal with?
You know what? I'll deal with Prophet.
Okay. Deal with your opposite.
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, Prophet's kind of in the lead. Actually, that's great. You're both the team leaders.
I'm still not team leader.
He's very not team leader at this point.
Okay. Before you even come up to him, Prophet says, I know what you're going to say.
Oh, then do tell me.
I'd like to hear you say it.
I'm just shaking my head at that. Fine, then I won't say anything.
As I knew. Still, you understand this will only turn out one way, right?
Why are you so sure of that? Have you not dealt with any other people that have to deal with the time? You have someone that manipulates time on your team.
I understand this, and her manipulation is limited. Truthfully, I don't believe it's even working right now. I tell you that because it is of no threat or consequence. My visions, unfortunately, don't go as far as I want them to in this place, wherever we are.
You didn't do any of your research, did you?
I trust that I will end up being where I need to be.
A lot of faith in that.
You have to have faith.
No, you don't, especially when you encounter people that can negate your powers.
It's not about powers.
It is if you are reading the future and using that as the basis for everything you do.
I am simply following the visions of the higher power.
You are using your powers and blindly following whatever you see off of them.
I trust in what I am shown. I have faith. I, unlike you, have faith in what I do. I have faith in the system that we are working to defend and protect people with. What do you and your friends have? Teenage rebellion? Vigilantism?
We had faith in the system until we realized that there were bigger things at play. And apparently, the people backing you are messing with us, trying to stop those bigger plans.
I trust that those above me understand what needs to be done. It's not my place to ask or question it.
Why not?
Because I have faith in the system. I have faith that I am doing what needs to be done. You know, believe it or not, there was a time when I didn't have that. Back when I could see.
So what happened?
I paid for my sins.
Which sin are we talking here?
One of pride and arrogance.
Why? How could I have guessed that? It is such a surprise that you are claiming that your sin is pride and hubris.
It was.
Yeah, well, the way you're talking makes it seem like you haven't learned your lesson.
You mistake it. I don't have any pride in myself. I don't have any conviction that I know what's best.
Well, then why do you blindly believe your visions?
Because they're from a higher power.
How are you sure of that? Have you actually interacted with that higher power?
You're not very familiar with the definition of faith, are you?
I am familiar with the definition of faith, except that what I have seen has led me to believe that you can't trust most of the stuff most things right now.
Well, then I do feel sorry for you.
And I feel sorry for you. You are actually the blind leading the blind.
I suppose from your perspective, that's a way to see it. I lead my team, and I know that they trust me, and I will do what's right. I don't know where we're going. I don't know where this place is, but I am certain that the answers will reveal themselves. I know you will not tell us, so I don't ask.
You must have some guess of where we are. If you've done any research, you should have some guess of where we are.
I have this idea. But
Well, then please enlighten me. What is your idea?
Based on what we were given in the briefings, I'm going to. No. I think I know. We're outside of time, aren't we? We're in the Time Master City.
Congratulations, you figured it out.
Does that make you feel good, proving that?
No. What will make me feel good is if you actually understand the harm you are causing in your blind faith.
If you can't see the harm you're causing and accusing me of that, then it is you who are the blind one. You want to continue this, Sean?
He is just getting on my nerves way too much at the moment. Just
I
like,
love it! Yay!
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of them are designed to get on our nerves.
I know they were, but
Maybe
just
actually. Wash, can we do you next? Are you awake enough to have a conversation?
Oh no, did we lose him?
Yeah, I think he conked out.
Oh.
So we have politics.
No, sorry.
He was
I just muted because I was eating. Yeah, I'll I will give it a shot.
Okay, so you want to talk to Platypus Man?
No, he's gonna have to come to me. He was very rude last time we talked.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
What did he do? Remind me out of character.
I think he just made angrier noises at me and possibly swore at me when I used talk with animals.
Oh, I don't remember
Forget.
that.
I don't think that was him.
Yeah.
No?
No, I don't think the two of you have actually interacted at all
Yeah.
yet.
That was the Outbackers.
So he walks out to you. Hi, Sheila. It's an interesting crew you run with here.
Yeah. Same as yourself?
Yeah. So, gotta ask, you know how to get home?
Dude, this is not where I fucked my car.
Well, obviously, I just mean it in general. Like, I haven't met someone from down under here before.
Oh, you come here often?
No, I mean like you. You're from down under, right?
Oh, yeah, the Outback.
Well, I mean,
I have no.
you're from the country. You're from the Outback country too. Fascinating. You've been to someone give me an Australian city real quick. I'm
Melbourne.
sorry.
Melbourne.
Brisbane.
Yeah, you from near Brisbane too, huh?
Nah, further out.
Oh, really? And I just got to ask, it's kind of weird. Why do you wear, by the way, any clothes at all? Watch.
Some sunglasses.
Why, Sheila? It's I don't mean to pry, but why are you walking around naked and everything? By the way, Platypus Man has a pair of shorts on and like boots. Or he has a pair of shorts on and sandals.
Nobody's ever complained before. It feels weird.
Well, it would feel weird. Like all people like you wear that back in near Brisbane. It's really weird that you're walking around without it and everything. Frankly, I'll be honest, it's a little indecent. That's why I haven't talked to you before now.
Nice.
You've taken a very interesting cultural stance.
What is cultural stance? It's standard culture from down under.
Yeah, well, my down under is not part of that particular culture.
What do you mean you're down under? Well, that's what I wanted to ask. How'd you even get here from down under? What did you fall through a portal too?
I don't know. Where'd your portal come from?
Well, I don't know. There's minding my own business, doing my searching around the pop, and just fell through a portal. Ended up here. A bunch of agents kidnapped me and everything. Interrogated me. Something about where I got powers from. I didn't know what the blazes blokes they were talking about.
Were you a platypus man before that?
I've always been platypus. They call me Platypus Man. Names? Someone give me an Australian name.
No, he already has a name.
Did he?
You already gave him a name. His name is Wallaby, because you said Wallaby is hilarious out of costume. Firework.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, just just Wallaby Erwin. What's my name?
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too, Sheila. But yeah, so what portal you fall through?
Oh, I think I'm still not entirely sure. There's a lot going on, and generally, Hexa Iris is usually, or Geist is involved when we just randomly end up somewhere new.
Oh, all right. I mean,
There was somebody else, but we don't talk about that.
You want help? I can get it. We can try to get back to our dimension and everything. That's what I've been promised here if I help them out.
Which dimension are you talking about?
Down under. That's where I'm from. You're from there too, right? You're obviously anthropomorphic kangaroo and all that.
To what might you be referring?
Oh my god.
I am something of an outlier in my own society.
Why? You seem pretty standard to me.
No, most of them are like that. I jerk my head over towards the rest of the heroes.
Well, that's just because the strange monkey things. The whole dimension's full of them and all that. I'd never seen them before I came here either. I know it's kind of shocking them not having hair or anything, but except on the heads. But I don't know, you get used to it, you know.
So you come from a place called Down Under, full of people looking like yourself and myself.
Well, others like it too. My best mate was a bit of a hard shell on his back.
What was his name?
Army.
He sounds like a stand-up, roll-down guy.
Yeah. He always had your back in a pinch.
2 questions for you.
Sure.
1. How, so you have no idea how to get back to there?
Well, can't say I do, mate. I've been trying to figure out. Like I said, as long as I work for these blokes, they'll help me find a way home one day. Right now, this dimension's real interesting. You got these things here. They call them hot dogs. Real tasty. You ever had
Real
one?
good stuff. Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes veggie dogs, sometimes hot dogs.
Well, I haven't tried the
And I guess the other question I had... Oh, damn it. I lost it. All right. In Down Under, is this normal? And I'll just, metal up.
No, I can't say that is, mate. You got some of them superpowers everybody here talks about all the time.
You don't?
I mean, I got what I was given when the day I was born. I got me spurs and my poison. I got me good senses. Got me good swimming. But that's just standard stuff, you know? I mean, I'm trained really well and everything, you know. You don't become a ranger without that type of training.
What kind of ranger would that be?
Oh, an outback ranger. Elitist of the elite, protectors and hunters. Shouldn't you know all this already?
Hate to break it to you, but I'm not from that Down Under.
What do you mean?
I'm from where they're from.
Wait. Oh, you're one of the actual animals here? They call them animals, right? They're kind of weird. They're like really primordial versions of what they're supposed to be. It's strange.
Well, it comes with its shing benefits.
So wait, are you? So you're like one of the proto kangaroos? Sorry if I'm using offensive terminology here. It's just, how is that? How are you talking then?
It's very complicated, and I do not understand it.
Oh, that makes 2 of us, Sheila. Listen, you seem like
It's a lot like chewing used to be.
You seem like an all right gal. If things do happen the way they do again, just want you to know, nothing of it's personal. Just doing what I got to do to get home. Hope you understand.
I appreciate that.
say under different circumstances, maybe we can grab we can go out and get a brewski one sometime. More treat. Assuming they don't make me a raptor first or anything like that.
I hope you're not intimidated by an older woman.
I think that's a good place to end that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my intention was never with Losh to have a straight antagonist with this one.
It's funny though.
Platypus Man is an old concept I took from a friend.
It works.
He's just from the land of the anthropomorphic Australian animal people.
Sure, why not?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the Grad City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
Gorillas.
Dan, I think you're next. Dan?
Dan!
You're up.
Is there any way the answer is not firework for this?
I mean, I'm trying to think because I don't really give a shit about the rest of them.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
they're
willing-
all taken except for TikTok.
I mean, I'm willing to talk to. And no, Stygian hasn't had a thing yet. Or
Yeah, but
Yeah, but you've talked to Stygian before. Do you really want to repeat that experience?
yeah, no. Fine, I'll talk to friggin' TikTok.
You're not to TikTok, it's fine. TikTok is just like, she's walking, like, she looks kind of annoyed. She keeps taking out her phone, hitting buttons, and looking just angry at it because it's not working.
And I thought I was a technophile.
What?
And I thought I was a technophile.
My God, right? Seriously, like, this place is a major drag. How am I supposed to keep my followers updated on what's going on if the phone doesn't work here? You're like the tech person, right? Like, you made a machine and stuff. You think you can get this working?
Well, seeing as there are no cell towers in this dimension, as far as I can tell, probably not.
Whatever. What good are you then? Hashtag useless.
Oh, her phone's gonna have problems when we get back.
Oh, seriously, this is such a bummer having to be here and do this. Like, you realize it could have just so much easier if you guys just surrendered and stuff. We could have just we could have made a little video about it, gone viral. Would have been great.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got some bigger story to chase rather than worrying about the algorithm right now.
You always have to worry about the algorithm. How else are you going to stay relevant? Oh, right, you don't.
Shocking enough, watch time's actually important, and it's kind of hard to trend if the world explodes.
You don't know people very well. We'll be trending right up until the world blows up, literally.
Yeah, but after that, the whole social media thing kind of goes down the toilet.
See, that's what you old people don't get.
How old is she?
She looks maybe younger than you by a year, at most.
What a wonder she would have said about my character.
You're so out of touch, you know that?
Maybe. I mostly just automate that shit these days. I got more important things to worry about.
Like what?
Well, actually, that's the funny thing about tech powers is you actually have to kind of put time and effort into them.
Time is something I have plenty of. Don't really worry about time,
And yet you're so fixated on trending when it's also fleeting.
Yeah, well, moment for you is so many moments for me. At least it should be. Ugh. Nothing feels right in this city. God, I want to get out of here.
No, this place is pretty messed up in just about every measurable way.
Right? What did you even want with those dumb scales anyways?
Well, hard to explain the whole story. In fact, we literally can't explain the whole story because we don't know half of it.
TLDR, please.
We needed answers, and this is literally the only way to get them.
Vague.
And we knew that with all of the muscling going on by your side, there was basically no way that asking nicely was actually going to get us anywhere.
Yeah, well, that's because you're really stupid, you know that? I mean, why would you be against all this stuff anyways in the first place?
That is a very long and very complicated story that I definitely can't TLDR enough for your taste.
Well, obviously, you don't really care about your livelihood, do you? Because we make bank over at the squadron.
Livelihood is one thing that I don't really have to worry about.
Oh, I get it. One of those asshole rich kids, huh?
Yeah, you could say that.
Mm-hmm. Typical. You're out of touch with your parents' money.
Yeah, probably a little bit. But,
Yeah, not all of us get to be born that lucky.
no, and honestly, I do have a lot of respect for people who have the opportunity to make their own way and succeed at it.
Oh, hold on. Stay still for a sec. I got at least this working. She moves over and like makes a face, kind of almost puts her arm around you and just takes a photo. Yeah, this will be good to caption later.
That photo might have some problems later, but we'll get to that.
Give her red eye and bad skin that no filter can fix.
Oh, that's way better than what I was thinking.
Like I said, I just don't get it. I don't get why you guys are doing what you're doing. Why not just work like Judge Thunder and stuff? Like he's kind of a dick, but like I don't know, he's like in charge, so whatever.
Well, the circumstances of him becoming in charge were questionable at best. And the
it's not like we have control of those systems anyways. So why worry about it?
Well, that doesn't mean that we can't do what we can to make things work the way they're supposed to.
It's just the system's broken as it is. You can't fix it. So don't worry. You don't worry about fixing it. You just deal.
Well, I agree the system's broken, and it might not be fixed with the traditional way, but if you know exactly where to break it, maybe you can get somewhere.
She shrugs. Yeah, break it. If you want a fist made of lightning through your stomach.
Man, it really didn't occur to me until just now that Judge Thunder is such a fucking weeaboo.
Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely in character.
She laughs a little. I'm going to write that one down. That's good. You want to keep going with this?
It's about as positive as a note as I can leave it with TikTok.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it should end with TikTok saying that she'll, cite you when she tweets it later.
Yeah, what's your Instagram? How many followers you got?
You know what?
If it's less than 1,000, I can't be associated with you.
There probably is a pretty decent Instagram at the insistence of our now missing agent.
Okay. Hey, listen. If we do make it out as Winona Rescue, we should set up a flame war and stuff. That's really good for the views.
I'll just kind of I can't really smile and nod because I have an opaque visor, but just kind of sure.
All right, Izzy, why don't you go next?
I was actually going to let Nick pick if he wants Stygian or Firework, because I'll go either. One of them I will be a headache for, the other one is going to be crunchier.
Nick, do you want to apologize to Firework?
That was in fact what the rough plan was.
Okay. So, Firework kind of comes up to you. She's like, look, hi again. It's kind of kind of sucks every time we have to meet, doesn't it?
Not really. Like, in all honesty, I probably owe you an apology, but I don't think there's ever been a problem. Like,
I didn't want to say it, but I would appreciate one.
I mean, yes, I kind of assumed you had done things like chemical tagging other people who you'd met and then traced them back, because that just seemed like the obvious thing to do.
Why would I do that?
Why wouldn't you?
Because that sounds psychotic.
Okay.
Like, geez, do you not trust anyone?
Not very much. It's also the fact that... Okay, so awkward conversation time. You discover random things your parents didn't want you to know about, because for me that was when I was 4.
Well, my dad's a dentist, so he didn't really keep the tooth fairy secret for very long. Does that count?
Only in the most technical sense. Okay. For at least an explanation that is partial but not makes sense, like, I can find almost anyone in the city when I want to find them.
That's kind of creepy. Like, can you just see and sense everyone? Do you just see everyone at all times or something? Is that your power?
It is not my power, but something similar as an aspect of it.
That's no offense, Cyrus. That sounds a little creepy.
Yes, it does. I try to avoid doing anything bad, but you can't really turn that off.
I mean, I guess that sort of makes sense. Like, listen, it's kind of weird for me. Like, look around for a minute. I'm the only one here without powers. Like,
I'm not sure I would call your ability to do things with chemicals not having powers, but I understand your point.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
like, you guys are. I'm just lucky I'm where I am. Like, you guys are all kind of punching a little out of my pay grade, so to speak. I'm just a girl who wants to fly, and I don't really know quite how I got here.
You know, in all honesty, being able to fly would be kind of nice. Stardust did not appreciate my attempts at flying when I attempted to make it work with what I can do.
I mean, look, it's not too late. You wanted to, like, join us. I could probably help you, get you hooked up with a jetpack and stuff.
So, I think you're the only member of your team who has awareness of the particular scale in which I made a mistake and need to apologize to you about for things like that.
I mean, it's not too late. Like, listen, I know you guys are doing what you think is right, but, like, that's made you a lot of enemies, How can you be sure you're right?
I'm not sure I'm right. I am reasonably sure that what I am doing is going to save a substantial number of lives, and I think that's more important.
I mean, you guys always do seem to be pretty confident in what you're doing, but, like, I don't know, that whole incident, like, I don't know what happened exactly, but it crossed a line. Like, you guys are scary, right?
Yes, we are.
Like,
that entire incident was terrifying, and I'll admit there was a line that I very nearly crossed and would have to stop it if I didn't believe that it could be stopped without doing more violence than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. That's not how most people talk. But,
No.
I'll be honest, Miss Iris. I think the team I'm on exists because you guys went as far as you did.
There's a lot of things we missed. And things that I personally feel like I should have actually been more on top of that I wasn't. That caused that to happen.
Yeah, I kind of know that feeling. Truth be told, I feel like I let a lot of things kind of get out of control about my own situation.
I'll be honest, I don't know much about your own situation for this. In so much as my power allows me to, I try and give people some degree of privacy.
No, nothing with that. And again, I still don't know how what you do works at all. I just mean, like, I signed up to be a hero. I signed up to do things the right way, and I don't know. You guys seem to kind of spit in the face of that.
And I honestly wish Stardust was still around.
Yeah, I do too.
As much as I had some disagreements with her, I respected her a great deal, and there are very good reasons that I'm certain you're smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, given what I said before, for why I can't trust the system as it works to actually do good things for most people.
Like, listen, I'm not dumb, you're right. I do kind of get it, but, like, what would you want me to do? I am where I am. I'm doing the good I think I can do here.
I'm not trying to convince you to, like, join us or anything. Like, do the good that you think is good for you.
But if this keeps on going like this, we're going to have to all fight again. And, like, you don't know Judge Thunder. He wants you guys taken in. Bad. He's not going to be nice about it.
I expected as much, and truthfully, I am quite worried about the extent that we would have to go to avoid being taken in, because, and I suspect that you're going to hear about this soon too, because Avarunkus is his name, right, Wex?
Everin what?
The guy who we're going to meet. No, Avarunkus is Sean. Who's the guy we're going to meet?
Azaman.
Azaman. There are very important questions that I have for Azaman. I'm not sure whether or not our team will get drawn into the sort of thing we got drawn into if you overhear me asking them.
She just shakes her head. I don't know. Why is it so complicated?
Why is what so complicated?
All this. We should be on the same side. I know my teammates, maybe they're not all the most likable, but for the most part, they're good people. They're just trying to protect and help. They're just doing what they need to do, you know?
I mean, as much as I find some of your teammates obnoxious, I really appreciate them. Like, they actually are doing good work. They're saving people. They're putting people who are hurting others away. I'm glad they're there, because I've had to focus on a lot of weird, esoteric things that I never thought I would have to, because of looks immediately for how many people are in earshot.
I mean, you can be quiet if you need to, other than, like, at least as far as you know, you don't have a full scope of everyone's abilities to that degree.
It's like, I was like, we are dealing with a lot of things that are related to the things that were talked about that meeting and that contract and above that.
Yeah, I still wish I could forget all that.
I don't. I'm glad that I know that that's how things work.
I mean, that's the problem. If that's how they work, what can you do? Like, you're just because, like, we're heroes doesn't mean we can change that, does it?
Why not?
Because there's a lot of powerful people that seem to want things kept that way.
There are. And from my perception, a lot of them are villains. And that's what heroes are supposed to do, is actually fight villains. Like, there might be an amount of rules that are not the laws of the U.S. government that you need to play by, or you will get smacked down with powers far beyond your comprehension. But there's at least things we can do to make them better.
Maybe. I want to believe you, but I don't know. I gotta think about it, okay?
Go for it. I mean, in all intents, you know who I am already, and so does your team. If you want to talk about it, just come to office hours.
They don't all know who you are yet. I've been careful to try to keep it that way.
Thank you.
She shrugs. Prophet knows, but Prophet only tells what he thinks needs to be told. He's kind of weird like that.
That he is. I have had a conversation with him that has revealed we have very different worldviews.
Yeah. I just hope we can find a middle ground, you know?
Well, I suspect that we'll see whether or not there's a middle ground when we reach that tower and we hear what one of the older heroes who knows far more than we do has to say.
I think that's a good place to switch over to Izzy. Izzy and Serenity and Stygian Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Avatar and Stygian.
Do you look the same as a little girl at all, or are you like unrecognizable at this point, Izzy?
I mean, I look like a child. Yes, I don't. I would not be recognizable as Serenity.
Okay, fair enough. So you come up to him? He definitely would not come to you.
You look so down and sour. Why don't you turn that frown upside down?
I can work on a spell to turn my head upside down.
Well, that's a start.
That would be grotesque. Might be interesting. Be a new type of pain, that's for sure.
Why do you focus so much on pain?
Because life is pain. There's no point to it.
Well, the pain is what makes you appreciate the good moments. If you didn't have pain, you wouldn't actually be able to appreciate the high points in life.
He scoffs. What good moments? What high points? Listen, kid, I don't know how you got into superheroing, but life is kind of shit. I don't know if you noticed.
No, life has dealt me a bad hand, but I always decide to play the next round anyway.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. We all just get dealt a bad hand, you know?
And one day, our luck will change. And you don't need to have powers to do that. You just need to work hard and, hope for the best.
I can definitively tell you there's no luck. There's only the weavings of the uncaring universe. And again, I know that for a fact, because that's what I do.
Well, it doesn't matter whether or not the universe cares. It matters that the people that are in the universe care.
They don't either. Not as a whole.
I mean, maybe not everybody cares, but most people care.
No, most people deep down are scared, frightened animals. They're just trying to get through their life because they're too afraid to actually die, because that's the biggest unknown mystery of all. And I'll tell you, they're right to fear it. Death sucks.
Have you
It
died?
isn't good what happens to you. No, but I know what happens when you do.
What happens?
You go some bad places.
Well, there's got to be good places, too, like heaven.
He shrugs. Requirements are too high to get in. Unrealistic.
Well, if you don't have an achievement to go for, why would you continue playing in the game of life?
Because it's better than the alternative. And I guess I'm a coward. I don't have the bravery and the conviction to end it. So I play out what I've got.
What you need is to look things on the positive side. You need to find a goal that you want to work towards. Find a hobby you really care about.
He just waves like his hands around and makes like a pentagram in the air. I do.
Does that bring you joy?
No, but it makes me feel slightly less miserable.
Well, you need to find something that puts you past the point of feeling slightly less miserable.
I don't know. That state doesn't sound achievable. I mean, I sometimes get close when I'm writing my poetry.
Oh, I'd love to hear some of your poetry.
No, you don't. It's terrible.
No, try me.
Blackest pain, blackest night, blackest soul, scorch my soul, lack of light, blackest darkness.
I got a lot of imagery from that, but it didn't really rhyme.
Under no circumstances should you ever have a Vogon read you their poetry.
Shows what you know about poetry. Poetry doesn't have to rhyme.
The stream doesn't work out, Toby.
It's so
All I'm thinking is the fucking line from Charlie the Unicorn. You're like a constant downer, huh?
so stereotypical and mainstream that you think poetry has to rhyme. It's like a little kid.
I mean, I am a little kid. And you're a teenager.
Yeah, well, I'm older than you. Why are you even doing this anyway? Shouldn't you be playing with ponies or something?
I do play with ponies.
Yeah, but why are you out here? Aren't you kind of young to be putting yourself in literal life's harm and, threatening to get yourself killed?
I'm trying to help make the world a better place. Doing good to protect the people I care about.
So idealistic.
Why are you doing this?
I'm bored.
Well, you could do a lot of things to fight off boredom, but you choose to help people. That's heroic.
I'm bored, and I didn't want to go further into the cabal because it's a lot of responsibility. And if I do kind of like being able to practice my magic. And if I do it the way I want, I need it to be somewhat official, or they'll come after me too. So I signed up.
You were in a cabal?
Where do you think I learned this from?
I don't know. I thought magic was innately found in people.
Can be.
Like you and Iris, and I guess me sometimes.
He actually laughs at that. What, her? She's not magic.
Yeah, she is. She's one of the most magical people I know.
No, she's not. Listen, I can sense magic in others. This place is magic. I have magic. You even have a strange hint of it, though you don't really practice it. It's very odd on you. But her, no magic whatsoever there.
No, that's not right. She told me definitely that she has magic.
Yeah, she's an illusionist. It's not the same as being a magician.
But she brings people so much joy and happiness with her magic. That's not fake.
That's not the definition of magic. Magic is being able to harness the powers of the universe and bend it to your will.
That's not the definition of magic.
You and I are reading from very different books then.
I mean, I'm just going by Webster. Have you ever read Webster?
Have you ever read the dictionary?
It just gives you just the most scathing look. Whatever. That's why I don't talk to people like you. If you have something important to say, you don't listen. So why should I bother?
I mean, I'm listening to you.
No, you're not listening. No, you're hearing me. You're not listening.
You're just punching holes in all of my arguments.
She can't do magic. She's a phony.
Oh my god.
That's. I'll have to talk to her about that.
Ironically, out of character, this is the most genuine thing he's actually said.
Yeah, no, I know.
The funny thing is, by the literal words of his definition, Iris sort of is actually doing magic, just not the type he does.
Yeah.
Boy.
I mean, do you read poetry or do you just write it?
I read some, in between delving into demonic secrets. That keeps me busy.
How How does one delve into demonic secrets? Are there books on that, or is it a game?
Well, duh, of course there's books on it, but you don't get to read them.
Well, why not?
One, you're like 4.
I'm not 4.
I never thought I'd miss the social habits of the Elcor.
And 2, you don't really see the type. Seem the type to actually be interested in it.
I don't know. I have lots of hobbies. It keeps things interesting.
Kid, why are you talking to me? Like, I can't possibly be interesting to you here. I've done nothing but be miserable at you. Why on earth are you still talking to me? In fact, I honestly kind of hate you. And given the chance when we get out of here, and based on what Prophet says, I'll be more than happy to demonically bind you and send you straight to hell. And I won't even think twice about it. So why are you still talking to me?
Well, I know what it's like to seem like you need a friend, and you fit that.
He kind of just sits and thinks for a second, and then gets kind of puffy. Whatever.
Well, at the very least, when we do get back, you should read some of this poetry I found online.
Izzy, what are you referring to?
I found posts from this guy on Reddit named Lord Damien Tenebris. I think you'd like it.
Isn't that him?
Yes.
Yes, that's his MySpace page.
Right. Like, he just is like, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't rhyme. It's kind of edgy. I think it's really good. You'd probably like it.
Yeah, I've heard of that guy before.
Oh my god, this kid's so full of shit.
You should watch the modifications I made to his page.
God.
You should tell me you so you really like his stuff, huh?
Yeah. I mean, what drew me in was the flying unicorns on his profile page, but like the poetry kept me reading.
Hold on, the what?
The flying rainbow unicorns on his
What
MySpace
song
page.
is automatically coming on his MySpace?
What?
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing
I think at that note, Prophet's like, silence up back there. We're here. And you turn the corner and find yourself at the foot of the Hourglass Tower.
Also, can I just say for the record that has already happened via Hex in the past?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know it did. You just haven't
yeah.
talked for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. We said that like 2 sessions ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think being at the foot of the tower is probably where we'll leave off session today.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh my god.
That was a good RP session, guys.
Yep.
Sorry if
that
I was
was
quiet. I was hanging in there.
No, I mean, we were pretty much talking in turn there anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was fun.
Yeah,
I
that was pretty
also hope I was able to flesh these guys out for you all a little bit more.
I mean,
absolutely.
with the exception of like one of them, yeah, we hate them even more.
And that's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't care. I want you to hate them. I just want you to understand them a little bit too.
Ugh.
We're going to either utterly corrupt Firework or we're going to completely ruin the friendships.
Either is good drama.
Or que no las gusta.
I mean,
Spirit
also
Garrus, really.
The best part is that she's talking about how scary you are, and I still haven't brought up the Minecraft roll thing with her at all.
I mean, have we told them that the shock trooper is currently a frog?
No.
And we're going to keep it that way, aren't
Wait,
we?
hold on, we never explained Bonesley to them.
Hey, how y'all doing? This is great to listen to, by the way. And Stinky's just like, oh yeah.
Isn't he
How are you
enchanting?
still going? I don't know, boss. You made me. Ugh.
I think the artifact gave him life or something. It's kind of hard to tell.
I could unmake you, but that sounds like a lot of efforts.
Yeah, he's all right. We keep him around.
Mm-hmm. He's been incredibly entertaining.
He's certainly been something. Oh, dearie dear.
Oh, did you change his MySpace password, by the way, Dad? Because he will never be able to get back in.
No, he can get back in. He just can't really change anything.
No, I'm asking if you changed his password.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably do something really cheesy and upbeat too.
My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Yeah. That was very. Yeah. You're doing a lot of Twilight Sparkle bullshit, man. I'm kind of here for it, to be honest.
Ruining people's social media is like half the reason this character exists.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But you're going to give boost to TikTok as soon as you start your flame war.
She thinks the war won't involve actual flames.
Yeah.
It will not. I can and will kill you again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call that his game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Fun times.
Yeah, there was very good role playing, and I don't know how successful the heist thing was, but it was fun.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was fun.
All right, 2 weeks then.
Yep.
2 weeks. What are we going to call this session?
Oh,
The Great Heist.
The greatest of heists.
how about just what could go wrong?
I like that. What could go wrong?
Hey, Izzy.
What's up?
Chronicles of Wellesley.
The reason I wasn't sure if people were hearing me, and probably it skipped over, I was trying to set up situations in which we could pay off that setup where we switched costumes last session, but I think we're past credulity now.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We can. Here's the thing. You said they live in your pouch now. We can always do it again later on.
Okay. Sorry, you two. I'm just getting from Worm, Aegis, and Clock Blocker during the first bank heist vibes from what happens when that goes off.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rain. And that is.
It's a good point to end session.
That's Stygian's new profile picture.
Majestic.
Thank you, Dan. Alright.
Smile!
Yeah, right.
Good night, everybody.